Welcome everybody to another great finals that is about to happen. This time between Saltmine and Dragon. I am Xenaero, and along with my co-host, Pro Bracket Extraordinaire Nexus, we're bringing you one hell of a matchup. How you doing, Nexus?
I'm doing great. Great to be back. Get to finally talk about a match whilst it's happening, which is exciting.
So it'll be one hell of a game because we're looking at a rematch between these two players. So there'll be, you do see a round counter up in the top right. That's going to be the score for each for the round. So it's going to be a best of 5. Players will be playing a potential of 4 maps because one player is playing with a disadvantage. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. So essentially, with Saltmine winning all of his matches as a reward for staying in the winner bracket, Dragon's going in 1 round down to the best of 5.
Okay. So that being said, I want to actually thank everybody so far during the month of July. We have raised over $100 for the Rampage Duel League. The server cost, in fact, will actually be going towards the full amount of the server cost for 1 month, which is fantastic to support the community in this way. So thank you to everybody who's been watching and listening during the inaugural season of Rampage Duel League.
Yeah, very exciting. Thank you very much.
Now, when we talk about the finals, what does that mean for these players? What have you seen so far?
Well, so far, double elimination, so it's been tight. It's an 8-player bracket, so a little bit smaller than the pro division, but it is still very tight. With kind of what's on the line with this one, honestly, it's sort of a ticket into the pro bracket for next season. I think both of these players can do it, and as of right now, there's no like fine line as to if you didn't make this place or higher in this bracket, you're not moving on. But as far as I see it, as of right now, I think both of these players sort of have the skills to move on to the pro bracket. But no matter what I say, the winner of this game will definitely be playing in the pro bracket next time we run this sort of tournament.
And we do see the bracket on the screen right now. Saltmine did advance all the way through the upper bracket, while in the second round, Dragon was knocked down into the lower bracket and made his run all the way back to what we see now in the finals match. I think it might be time to see about these, do a brief show of how these matches played out. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a good way to give a quick overview.
The first will be starting off in the upper bracket. In the first week, Saltmine defeated Ludwig 2-0. And that was a pretty good match for Saltmine, showing his power on King 1, which is good to note because Dragon's home field is also King 1. And Saltmine did play his home field of Pobla 8 very well, which has kept him firmly in the upper bracket.
Yeah, definitely some margins on this one, but good showing from Ludwig for sure.
Moving on to where these competitors first faced off is in week 2. We saw Saltmine take out Dragon and knock him down to the lower bracket 2-0. So we'll be seeing effectively a rematch on both Pobla 8 and King 1. And it will be up to Dragon to overcome that 1-round disadvantage.
Absolutely. This is the one that everyone's kind of looking at because this is sort of the only insight we have as to how these two are going to play against each other. But it will play out a little bit different. Being best of 5, Dragon will have a little bit more time to come back.
Absolutely. And then Saltmine's final match before the finals was a best of 5 against Killer 007, where he took that 3-1. It's the first time anyone took a round off of Saltmine. So he is vulnerable, but is he vulnerable enough for Dragon to change up his playstyle and turn it around?
Yeah, that's kind of the big question. He's not invincible. I know he's having a little bit of internet issues, so there are some holes in his gameplay, but we'll see what Dragon can do about it.
Moving on to how Dragon's bracket has played out this season. First of all, he faced off against Nico in week 1, where he won pretty handily, 2-0. But then, as we saw in the second week, he faced off against Saltmine and lost there. So, again, important to underscore that this is a rematch between these two players, and Dragons fought hard to get back to the finals. On to week 3. Well, actually, it's really week 2 because Dragon played Demolition in the lower bracket. And he won that 2-1, knocking out Demolition and moving on to the 4th week. No, 3rd week, I apologize. 4th game for Dragon, in fact, because he played 2 games that 1 week.
Right, yeah.
Which is also a rematch. He played against Nico in his lower bracket game because Nico had also made a run through the lower bracket before meeting Dragon here, where Dragon again beat him 2-0. So it's cool to see kind of like this pattern of rematches with a couple players.
Yeah, double elimination really lends itself towards that. I think it's quite cool to see, whether or not players are able to learn from their mistakes and come over their mistakes and just move on. Because once you've seen these players play against each other, you should know how they play. You should know their mistakes they're going to make. So it's a good test of skill, I think.
Absolutely. And then the final game, which we are going to cover in recap coming up, is the lower bracket final game between Killer 007 and Dragon, where Dragon did win that 2-1. That was an impressive match, and I mean, we'll cover this in more detail during recap as the game approaches for the intermediate finals here. But Dragon played pretty hard here. Killer did as well. It could have been any competitor's game. So we'll be seeing we were going to see a rematch of either way because Saltmine beat both of these opponents.
Exactly, yeah. I think this like you said, we're going to cover this one in the next recap, but I think Dragon definitely earned his way into this finals match with this game.
All right, and that'll do it for our kind of run through of the games so far in the intermediate bracket. Now, again, this is a best of 5 round duel. Higher ping and lower ping alternate maps between Saltmine's home field or Dragon's home field. Actually, we're not doing it that way, are we? Like we did with the rookie finals. It's not going based off ping. We determine it.
Yeah, God, I think let me double check the rules here. I remember last recap. That's what I was saying, but I'm not sure if I was just running my mouth. Let me get an official rules statement here.
For the time being, ladies and gentlemen,
yes.
I'm pretty sure that it's not based on higher ping and lower ping like the rookie finals was.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm glad I was right last week and I wasn't just talking out of my ass. So essentially, how it's gonna work is with Saltmine going up around, he has his first match just cancel out as a win. So his home field will be cancelled out as a win. So we're going straight to Dragon's home field, which is King. And then it goes loser bracket, winner bracket, loser bracket.
Let me
map.
do that. Let me give. We're going to give Saltmine a round win there because that's the advantage of staying in the upper bracket. So that is how the score looks right now. We're going to get rid of that summary and rules, and we're going to switch into the game because the game is starting in a couple minutes. In fact, the competitors may be ready earlier than that. Let's see here.
Yeah, I'm seeing both competitors are in the server. I think Dragon just said he's going to restart his PC real quick, and he'll be right back.
All right, switching to the game view here, and then we're looking at King 1. This will be the first map we see. It's a pretty, if you haven't seen any matches on King 1, it's pretty hectic. It looks like there's a lot of room to maneuver, and there is, but there typically isn't much different fighting areas. You want to kind of take control of this middle area here because there's a very vulnerable rocket launcher spawn, a super shotgun spawn up here, and of course a BFG spawn which you want to control at any point.
Yeah, there is certainly an element of control on this map. It's a lot more spread out. I find that in a lot of these maps that we've seen throughout the season, this is sort of larger in scale. Not quite on the same scale as like D5M1 is, but it is still quite large. Very old school map. The spawns, I think everyone knows about if you've been playing Doom for a while. The spawns on this map are quite hit and miss. You can either get really lucky with the spawn on a super shotgun and the opposite side of the map as your enemy, or you can spawn right in front of them on like a rocket launcher. There's quite a few really nasty spawns which are quite hard to work your way out of on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, spawn control here is I would probably liken it to akin to Judas almost in terms of how technical the spawns can be. You have to play differently based on each one.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I think with Judas, you're very right. There's a lot of spawns on that map where you're really just pretty much screwed over. I feel like if you're really, really good at Judas, you can sort of make the best out of every situation that you spawn in. And it is kind of the same on King. You will see a lot of people perhaps spawn in like that rocket launcher cage in the middle there, and they'll just shoot themselves with a rocket, because in some situations it's more advantageous to just kill yourself and take one score off of yourself rather than let your enemy have a frag. So there's a lot of methods, and there's a lot of ways you can sort of try to overcome these respawns, and I think that's going to be a huge factor as we see both these players getting ready here.
Saltmine is reconnecting. I think we're waiting on a restart from Dragon, and then we'll be off. So match will be underway here in a moment. I'm just kind of flying through the map at the time being, listening to the tune that has been burned into all of our collective heads, typically from Dwango 5 Map 1, but we hear it elsewhere as well. Now, while we wait for these competitors, what do you think we're going to see from this game? Do you think we're going to see a blowout?
I think we could do. I think it's really possible. I know Saltmine, both of these players, they could hang in the pro division as far as I'm concerned. So both super skilled. I think Saltmine's really been on top of his game recently. He's been practicing quite a lot. I think we saw Saltmine doing a little bit more of a warm up to this game than Dragon did. And I think Dragon might just not have the best frame of mind going into this one. You know, he's fought Saltmine before, he's lost to him. He knows Saltmine is such a threat on any map with his aim. I'd like to see Dragon sort of put in a really good fight here and perhaps go back and forth. You know, if Dragon is going to win any map, I think it's going to be this one. It is his home field. He's had a lot of practice at this. You know, if he's going to win anything, it really should be this one. So I'd like to see Dragon, you know, put up some really good scores against Saltmine, perhaps go back and forth. The tiebreaker for this one is Lazarus. I don't think we're going to get to it, to be honest. I really think
that would be round 5 if we get to it.
Right.
So if you see the score counter go 2-2 up in the upper right-hand corner, we'll be in for a hell of a map. Lazarus has produced a couple interesting matches so far.
Yeah, it's a very tactical map. I think it's quite a well-balanced map, actually. There are some spots where you can really control the map, but as far as spawns go in that, it's not nearly on the same level as not Lazarus, as King here is, where you feel really screwed over with the spawns. The spawns feel quite spread out on Lazarus, and I think it sort of lends itself to a really, really balanced, fair, quite quick, but quite tactical, quite smart game. So that'd be a really cool one to see. I'm not, like I said, I really would be quite surprised if we went all the way to round 5. I think Saltmine, if he's playing, you know, at his best, I think we will see a little bit of a quicker match than that, but hopefully I'm wrong, because it would be great to see these guys go to round 5.
I guess that may happen after Dragon's PC is done with Windows updates, because that appears to be what the situation is at the moment. So make sure if you're in a live broadcast and match, folks, make sure you are up to date on your Windows patches.
Maybe he's got like a 20-year-old hard drive. Oh, here he is.
Oh, we joke, but yeah, it's good for players to get everything out of the way, get restarts done, make sure there's the least amount of external factors possible. And I think, yes, Dream's ready, and we're just waiting on the players now.
Yeah, once they join, there'll be a 10-second countdown, and we'll be in it.
They'll be in it to win it. I'm pretty sure we'll get copyright struck for that one. Pretty sure that's a phrase used in a game show.
Oh, really? Oh, man.
Good luck to both players as they kick off round 2. Well, technically round 1 of the intermediate finals. Dragon with a strong start, but he lets the BFG spawn slip away from him, and Saltmine could not get the cone adjusted for that splash, even though he dies. As long as you stay dead, the BFG splash will still hit the enemy player, if the angle's right.
Yeah, kind of a classic starting here, quite fast-paced. Slowing it down here. I think Dragon might be onto something here if he tries to slow down the game. I think that That would be advantageous for him. I think he plays a little bit of a smarter game sometimes than Saltmine often does, so slowing things down might be advantageous here.
I think typically what I tend to see in finals matches is both players starting out pretty slow. They want to feel each other out and make sure they don't make any critical mistakes like early in the match.
Yeah, so far looking like Dragon's perhaps getting some slightly better spawns than Saltmine is. Typically what you will see on this map. Generally, we'll probably see sort of the frags even out and sort of start favoring one player. Usually around like the 20 or 30 frag range. It doesn't always happen. I just see that a lot. So I think it'll be a little while here till we see a good margin open up.
Good shot from Saltmine, trying to keep his opponent in the corner. Apparently, Dragon actually hits the wall in front of him with a rocket. It's bad luck, and it takes away a frag from Dragon, tying them up now. 5-4.
Yeah, I think this is where Saltmine's kind of gotta really pressure Dragon into making mistakes here.
Oh,
Going
good
down
dodge from
this
that
early.
BFG spawn, yeah. And a little BFG off where both players fall, even though, again, you know, if you die, as long as you don't respawn, your player object will still project that cone.
That's right.
The BFG's a little, has some interesting mechanics that people exploit in modern Doom multiplayer. Saltmine only one frag ahead, and the spawns are not, it's not a death trap for these players yet.
Yeah, we haven't seen any like 4 respawns in the same spot yet, right in front of the enemy player. I'm sure we'll see something like that in a minute here.
We have seen historically one player spawning in front of the BFG. Oh god, I want to say 7 or 8 times. I'm not even exaggerating. So it can happen. Your luck just has to be bad enough.
Yeah, this map is kind of cursed like that. It's bound to happen.
Players are even. You can keep track of that yourself as well. In the lower left-hand corner, the spread is currently -1. Again, so Saltmine actually is down by 1 frag. So we switch back over to Dragon as he gets the BFG spawn and tries to get one shot. The second shot actually connects and takes out Saltmine, getting him enough breathing room for a super shotgun. We cannot see the health value of these players, but
yeah,
you can kind of guess. I mean, a grazing shot from a super shotgun will take off 50 or more.
Exactly. We saw Saltmine delaying the spawns there, so he's not going to run any risk at spawning in Dragon's BFG cone, which kind of let him really take advantage of Dragon being in a bad spot. And now Dragon's down 1 again. Super back and forth right now.
And currently we are watching Dragon, who is currently playing from a round deficit. So he really does need to win this one before it goes back to Saltmine's home field of Pobla, which is a very shotgun-heavy map that Saltmine's pretty good at.
Taking advantage of Saltmine's positioning there. Good refrag as well.
That's a
Very
great
nice.
kill
Yeah,
off the
huge.
BFG pillar.
Killing spree. Oh, interesting move.
Great rocket. Dragon's playing in good form.
This is exactly what he needs in order to stay.
Fakes out the door opening just to bait out a shot and gets Saltmine. What a 1-2 punch. The bag spawn from Saltmine. Now the spread is 6 frags in Dragon's favor. That's how quick it can turn.
Exactly. So we see a little bit of a lead going with Dragon here, but it can really just be 1 killing spree for Saltmine and we're right back in it. This could be just 1 or 2 spawns, really changes the field really quite rapidly.
Playing up top is pretty difficult considering he didn't have a super shotgun. He had to go take some damage to go get it.
Yeah, not every spawn on this map is super shotguns. God, how many is there? A handful of super shotguns. So most of the time you'll see plays like this where Saltmine's running towards the SSG and Dragon's kind of his job is to try and prevent that weapon from getting in his hands.
Players making good use of some hard cover to avoid getting one shot. Dragon he lowered the lift to duck in there to avoid Saltmine's shot. And I guess Saltmine might be...
Oh no.
Currently the score is 25-18. Saltmine's currently lagging out.
Yeah, it looks like he is going to time out here. Player 8219 is him reconnecting. So it appears to be stable again. But it's unlikely going to let his first client reconnect here.
Sandronum functions much like a prison system where we refer to players by their number. 8219, please join the match. So I believe we'll continue off with his existing frag count.
Yeah.
Get ready for the next battle.
Okay.
3.
I guess we'll see what happens here.
1.
We're going to resume based on the last known score of 25 to 18.
That's
so
right.
One player will need 25, the other one will need 32.
Yeah, that's right. So Dragon, once he hits 32 frags, that would mean he will win this one. If Saltmine reaches... Sorry, if Dragon reaches 25 frags, that means he wins it. If Saltmine wins it, he'll need 32 frags. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. A little bit of an awkward way of doing things, but it's just the best way we can make of the best of a bad situation here.
There's unfortunately no way to artificially add points.
Yeah.
Kind of would be an interesting way to look at that as a feature request in the future.
Yeah, that would be really useful. Pretty niche, but definitely very useful.
And some super shotgun jousting there in the corner where neither player landed a shot. Saltmine did get out of that spawn trap, only barely though, as Dragon's ready for him on the other rocket spawn. But he does heavily damage Saltmine as he goes for his own kind of off-center super shotgun spawn. So it's back and forth right now. It's turning into a slugfest.
Definitely very back and forth. I feel like Dragon's really making the best of these bad spawns from Saltmine, as you see right there. He's definitely putting the pressure on him. He's not giving him much time to think. So when he spawns in a bad position, you see the Dragon just really forcing the worst behavior out of Saltmine, I feel.
And approaching that window is a tricky situation, considering the player inside has a lot of control over their firing angle, while you're outside and very exposed. Some rocket damage got through the window on Dragon, letting Saltmine kind of push some advantage, and didn't work out that way. I'm not sure if that shotgun blast actually hit Dragon.
Yeah, with the shotgun, I feel it's a little bit more. You'll see not drops, but you'll see some shots kind of not land at the way you'd expect it. More so with shotgun than SSG.
Dragon holding his spawn to avoid the bulk of that BFG work, which is always smart for a player to do.
Definitely. 11 frags left for Dragon here. Just a 4 frag lead at the moment, so he's got a little ways to go.
But he's building building even a higher gap, considering that he already started off with an advantage earlier.
That's right. So this gap is actually larger than it looks currently. Saltmine falling behind a little bit. I think, just what I said earlier, I think Dragon's really making the best of these bad spawns that Saltmine's getting. Saltmine perhaps not able to capitalize as much as Dragon is right now.
It appears Saltmine may not be trying to line up his shots as much, trying to out-reaction Dragon, but it's not working out as well for him from what I'm seeing here on the field.
Yeah, the ability to adapt is a huge factor in these duels. When things aren't going your way, you really just have to see what's happening and then sort of build off of that. Very hard to do. You need such a calm sort of head on your shoulders in order to do that mid-intense duel. So we'll see what Saltmine can do. Getting very close to the frag limit here. Just 2 frags left for Dragon.
2 frags left for Dragon, but Saltmine needs to not only eradicate this 5 frag spread, but also add, what was it, 8 more frags on top of that. It's going to be very tough. Dragon has 1 frag left to take King 1, and that's it. So that score counter is going to even out. We're now looking at least a 4-round match. So we'll be coming back to King 1 at the very minimum. But we'll be moving on to Pobla 8, which is, I don't believe we broadcast that during the finals, the rookie finals. We have seen King 1 before, but not Pobla.
Yeah, this will be interesting. So that's Dragon's home field down now. So now we're off to Pobla, like you just mentioned.
Now, Pobla is a... how best to describe it? Pobla is a very precise map. Much of the frag work you're going to see is going to be done with a single barrel shotgun, which, while it does less damage than the double barrel counterpart, it has a tighter spread, so there's a lot less room for error.
Absolutely, and with Saltmine's playstyle, very aim heavy, I think this is a huge choice from Saltmine. I've mentioned it throughout all the recaps, I believe. Pobla is just such a strong home field when you're good at it, because it plays so different from any other map. It's almost akin to Shoot, where it's incredibly aim heavy, but it's all just shotgun work almost. There's one SSG on the map, but it's very out of the way. You can control it if you like, but what we've seen Saltmine do is he mainly focuses on that shotgun gameplay, and so he really puts the pressure on Dragon to make these shots.
Right off the bat,
make,
he's showing his precision work with the single barrel shotgun. There is a very, very small chance of landing a one-shot kill if every pellet hits, and it's all high damage rolls. But typically, you're going to see 2-shot completions from most players on a shotgun frag. Of note, this is kind of like the power spot to be. You have a little bit of hard cover, and you can watch multiple spawns. But it looks like Dragon went into that hut where there is a super shotgun and grabbed it to come out and try to reestablish control. But Saltmine is still 2 frags ahead right now. And, oh, so Dragon's fighting back, so that's good. Doesn't seem entirely outpaced by Saltmine as of yet. There is a BFG up on the corner, along with the teleporter that leads into the super shotgun room. We're seeing that play out from Dragon's point of view, which we're going to switch over to now. He's making use of... And Saltmine intercepts him there, gets another frag, and puts him back down into what would be, for Dragon, an unfavorable spawn position.
Yeah, starting to see a little bit of a gap occur here quite early on, which is not a good sign for Dragon. I wouldn't be surprised if there is quite a large gap in the end score here, just with Saltmine being so strong in this one.
It's interesting to note because players are typically very strong with the super shotgun, which does still require precision, but this single barrel shotgun even more so.
Yeah, and it's just kind of a different game entirely. It is sort of an SSG dance that most people do, where you're very used to the timing, you're very aware of when your opponent's going to be able to shoot after the reload and when you're going to be able to shoot. And so the shotgun just changed it up with it being firing so quickly. So it's almost like an entirely different game when you're playing on a map like this.
We have somebody in chat who says, wait, this is not a slaughter map? Well, it's a slaughter of a different kind right now. The most dangerous kind of monster on the field is another Doom guy. Dragon just cannot establish control against Saltmine. Now the gap is looking to be about 9 to 10 frags between the two. I'll switch back over to Saltmine and watch him play. He does good long-range shotgun work, is what I've noticed. He doesn't try to close the gap.
Yeah, that's a good way of doing things, actually. The shotgun's a little bit more useful at range than the SSG is. He's just got such a tight aim. You'll see him hit almost every single shot consistently here. I think if I was in Dragon's shoes, I'd be trying to change the pace right now. I'd be trying to look at what Saltmine's doing. You know, you're not winning these engagements. It's very hard to do with these spawns, but I would try to perhaps emphasize on the BFG or the super shotgun. Just try and change the pace a little bit.
Saltmine now with a super shotgun. He did hear the BFG get picked up, but he didn't even move. Dragon taking a couple frags, but he still has a lot of ground to make up. Saltmine looking like he's 11 frags ahead. And we're over halfway done. Saltmine with 30 kills to his name.
Yeah, we saw Dragon get a couple of free spawn kills there with the BFG. It's not easy to grab every time, though. You kind of got to go throughout the whole map and run through the middle just to get there. So it can be very hard to repeat that.
Ooh, and Dragon follows Saltmine, or Saltmine actually rather, follows Dragon through the teleporter, which is always very risky because your opponent can back up after going through the teleporter and kind of wait there, right where Saltmine is currently.
Exactly. There's a lot of room around the teleporter here. Lots of room to play some tricks, as Dragon was trying to do there, but Saltmine caught on to it quite quickly.
I'm not sure offhand what the score of the last time these players met in Pobla was, but it's going to be something similar. I mean, 20 frags is a pretty big difference, but Saltmine has regularly been putting that between himself and his opponent on Pobla.
Yeah, I just checked the last time they played here was 50 to 27 in Saltmine's favor. So
we're on track for
Dragon,
that.
yeah, Dragon doing a little bit better than last time, but still definitely a gap going, unless he doesn't get another frag here. Oh, and he does. So
A little bit less of a high-octane map compared to King 1, but it's still players under immense stress, especially trying to line up these shots when in a game where players can move very quickly, so it's much tougher than it looks.
yeah, the aim required in this sort of map is insane. I've seen Dragon go for the SSG and the BFG there, so he had quite good control over the weapons, but he wasn't able to capitalize off of that one.
It's going to be up to Dragon to really bring this back to equilibrium when King 1 shows up again, and Dragon got a good shot off on Saltmine there. And a mutual kill, but still a spread of 13 with 3 frags remaining. It's pretty much Saltmine's game. Could have been a telefrag there.
Yeah, there was a really big opportunity there. Dragon opting to stay outside, maybe perhaps trying to go for map control rather than just the instant kill. See how it works out for him. Nope, not too well.
I mean, what can you do at this point? It's required
Yeah.
practically an entire collapse for Saltmine.
Yeah, Saltmine would really have to choke this. So it's looking like going to be a fairly decent margin. A lot smaller than previously, though.
Yeah, 50 to 37 is very respectable
Yeah.
on a map on somebody's home field in the finals. Yeah, I mean, that's supposed to be their strongest map. So that round count will increase to 2 for Saltmine, and we're going right back into King 1 for round 4.
Yeah. A lot of pressure now on Dragon here. So Dragon really has to win this.
3, 2.
Yeah, this is a championship point
Yeah.
for Saltmine. If he wins this,
Exactly.
it's over.
Yep. Good news for Dragon, though. If there's any map he can win it on, it should be his home field. So we'll see what he can put together here.
Saltmine with first blood, but what does that really mean? Because
Very little.
with in Doom compared to Quake, there's a lot, and that's some good BFG work from Dragon. Good timing, good prediction, avoiding Saltmine's BFG cone, getting a spawn frag, and heavily damaging Saltmine in there, but kind of steps into where Saltmine was predicting him to be. Good difference to point out between, especially with that kind of BFG work,
That was
between,
very strong.
say, the rookie finals that we broadcast last weekend and the intermediate finals here. These players are much more experienced. They are aware a lot more about specifically timings between players, going from point A to point B, and typical player behavior. So we're going to see a lot more prediction work, a lot more confident shotgun work, and definitely better BFG work, as we saw there from Dragon.
Yeah, that's certainly one thing to note. If you watched both of these, rather if you're watching both of these, you've previously watched the rookie finals. Just looking at the difference in mainly predicting that you're going to see from these players, that's sort of one of the main factors between skill level. I've seen Saltmine go down quite heavily here now. It looks like he is lagging a little bit, but
A lot of his kills have been just him W keying in places where he doesn't have his weapon ready, like the upper platform, or if he's just not ready to fight Dragon in these particular situations. So now he's down by 8. We're looking at 12 to 4 currently in round 4. Dragon in pretty heavy advantage. Wow, that was a pretty strong shot from Dragon. Not a one shot, but he's still cleaned up.
yeah, with the gap being this large, this early, Saltmine's got to change something up. He's got to realize that, okay, what's happening right now is just not working.
Ooh, a whiff from Dragon. That's
Yeah.
not good to have your spawn reset like that on King 1. Saltmine looking a great reset from Dragon. I mean, for the boomstick work that he was putting in on Pobla, may have made his aim a little bit sharper going into round 4. Might be warmed up. You mentioned that maybe he wasn't warming up before this?
I didn't see, maybe he was warming up against bots. I didn't see him in a server. I think he played maybe 1 or 2 warm-up games, but Saltmine's been on for a good hour or 2 warming up here.
Okay, well. Dragon kind of playing with fire with that lift. The rocket launcher has a delay to it, and you lower the lift a little bit too late, you're going to eat that rocket damage in your face.
Yeah, there's so many small details which are hard to perfect on this map.
And Saltmine's bringing it back now, a gap of only 4 between these players. But that can change. Oh, jeez, a mutual. That the one shot did not land at the rocket pillar.
Truly the worst spawn on the map right there.
Saltmine does not get the advantage from the upper super shotgun spawn, which we do tend to see happen. Now they spawn in the same room together. And Dragon is back up to a margin of 8. Saltmine just not landing consistent shots while Dragon walks into a rocket.
Yeah, I gotta say this is a very, very fast-paced king match. Usually players tend to slow it down a little bit more, especially you'd think in the grand finals.
Oh, great shot from Dragon. In fact, it was so quick that the client hadn't even caught up to him. We didn't even see the super shotgun raise in time. And that's how quick these players can be. Sometimes the engine struggles to keep up.
Yeah. The reaction time needed for this game is absurd sometimes.
Ooh, bad spawn from Dragon there. They Saltmine capitalized on. We're going to switch back over to Saltmine as he plays from a deficit of 6 so far. Now 5. So it could be changed. He didn't get the one shot off, but he cleaned up on the BFG where Dragon did not seem to notice he was behind him.
Yeah, Saltmine's aim looking sharp as ever. You'll notice a little bit of stuttering in his gameplay. And I think that is his connection. He has been saying he's had connection issues for the last little while. We'll see sort of what difference that makes here. He's still playing pretty well nonetheless.
Yeah, much tighter margin here on King 1 compared to Pobla, but as long as Dragon wins, it pushes it to the next round.
That's right.
I would love to see a round 5, but I mean, with only 3-4 frags between these two players, you never know what we're going to see.
Yeah, you can't make a judgment too early. It looks like we could be seeing that, though.
I think it's probably a guarantee that Saltmine will win Pobla. So as long as Dragon wins here.
It really is just his map, so it really comes down on Dragon.
In fact, while they brawl it out, what would you say is the possibility Dragon would use the next round to kind of mentally prepare for the...
To be honest, I think that's what he should do. I think he should try to calm down his nerves, just realize, okay, you know what? I can't win Pobla. You know, I wouldn't want to see him throw, but I'd like to see him sort of just relax himself a little bit, practice the same, get himself into a good mental state where he's not super stressed out, and then go into Lazarus with a clear head.
Saltmine is just not getting the luck he needs off these spawns and not getting the engagements that he needs. Even catching that BFG cone from Dragon, a mutual frag, that still keeps him 5 frags under. Dragon is now at 40 frags, only 10 left to go. Saltmine nearly eats that rocket, eats the splash damage, and then a follow-up shot. It's almost like a capture the flag game at this point. It's hard to keep up.
Really good work by Dragon off those spawns there. That's huge at this point in the game. That pretty much solidifies his position. It'd be very hard for Saltmine to come back from that.
Both players fighting really hard. They'll be within 10 frags of each other for sure, guaranteed at this point. Dragon only 5 frags ahead, 4 frags ahead.
Oh, wow. Okay.
4 frags remain for Dragon to push it to at least the 4th round. Well, no, I mean, at that point,
we're going to guarantee 5 round, yeah.
Wait a second. No, we won't be going back to Pueblo, will we? We're going right to the. We're going right to the.
Goodness. Yeah, we're
thinking, losing track of our own rules here. We're so caught up in the match.
It's the ping difference because we're used to seeing ping map go back and forth. Because Saltmine automatically won his first round, we're not going to see Pueblo again, are we?
Nope. Oh, what a refrag from. Ooh, it's gonna be close.
This is very possible from Saltmine.
And we're going to see a tiebreaker match.
Whoa. Okay, here we go. So, okay, well then that takes away what I was saying earlier, where Dragon has some time to really calm himself down.
Yeah, you're going right from a hard-fought match, where, I guess if Saltmine were to time out, this would be the time to do it.
This is the time to do it, yeah. We'll get the timeouts out of his system.
Damn, look at him go. He's like phasing.
Oh.
Fucking warping. The human flash. Well. I mean, going over the match that we just saw, Dragon only suffered, in terms of actual gameplay, Dragon suffered 1 loss. So, you know, even playing from disadvantage, he's evened that out. He's neutralized that upper round advantage, and is now looking at a proper tiebreaker.
Yeah, it really all comes down to this. Dragon playing super strong with these this high pressure. So
Good luck to
Little-
both.
exactly.
This is the kind of stuff we love to see on a tournament broadcast. We love to see it go to the last possible round. Dragon against Saltmine, the final round. If you are joining us now,
3, 2,
it's an exciting
1.
occasion because I haven't seen either of these players play on Lazarus.
No, I haven't either. It's quite a slow-paced map, but still it lends itself to being high-paced if they want it to be. But still lots of room for these players to slow it down.
Great work from Dragon to position himself where he did. Even if Saltmine did not spawn there, he was safe from any sort of aggression off of Saltmine's spawn. And a few, oh my goodness, players missing left, right, and center. But Dragon comes away the winner of that. I wish I could see how much health he has. You can see he does have green armor, which takes away the incoming 33% of damage. Saltmine follows up with a couple spawn frags. And the BFG is in a nasty spot to actually counter because it's in a tight corner and above where most players would stand. So it's good to go for it, but you can not only trap yourself in there, but you can put your opponent in a position to where they can be hit by the BFG splash.
That's right. Yeah, that BFG is a huge spot for players to sort of capitalize on and really focus map control around. You really want to prevent your enemy from going there, and if they do, you got to really make sure that they pay for it.
Both players are tied. Well, they were tied. It's now 5. It's now 6-6. See, you can't move so fast. You can barely keep up with the events. As soon as you say one thing, the situation has changed. Saltmine doesn't know where Dragon was. He kept moving forward with the BFG cone. And a lot of the spawns here are... They tend to allow you to play more aggressive because they are super shotgun spawns in fairly safe places for the most part.
Exactly. There's only a couple of spawns here which are not super shotgun spawns, and even those you have a bit of cover to work with generally.
Dragon being very aggressive. Saltmine with a great plus back to get away from that troublesome spawn.
It's a
Which we
very
don't see a
advanced
lot
move.
of. Yeah, we don't see a lot of players do that in general. So Saltmine is definitely familiar with that technique, at least here on Lazarus.
Yeah, we're seeing Saltmine. I think his aim is his biggest factor here, where it's super strong. Dragon doing great work though to just slow things down, play perhaps a little bit of a smarter game. Seeing him delay it a little bit in the exit there.
Yeah, Dragon trying to get a med kit respawn in that room, but unfortunately there was no med kit for him to get, allowing Saltmine to pepper him from far away. There's a lot of nuance in terms of players can't see damage numbers when they hit their opponent, like many modern games. So what they do go off of is, well, how many blood puffs did I see off the player? And they kind of have a feel for the distance as well, and you'll see that knowledge be played very heavily by intermediate and pro division players. For as much of a primitive game Doom is, players have gotten pretty damn good at it.
Yeah, with this high level gameplay, you're gonna see a lot of things which are very hard to notice. Like if you're just coming at this from a non-view perspective, you're probably just watching two guys just run at each other, but there's really a lot going on.
Smart of Saltmine to hold that angle, knowing his opponent was weak. Saltmine now up by 2, potentially up by 3.
Yeah, will we see Saltmine open up a gap here?
He's currently... This is the largest spread that these two players have had so far on this match. Or this map, rather.
Yep, killing spree now from Saltmine. See if he can continue. He hasn't taken up too much damage, so he's still in a good spot.
He's playing from a very strong position. He's starting to realize that he can kind of play around the corners with Dragon a bit more effectively than Dragon can gun him down out in the open. So as long as he keeps that up...
Yeah, we were kind of seeing him force Dragon into a specific spot on the map, and we're kind of seeing it happen again. Dragon now forced just into this exit room, so decent map control from Saltmine right now.
I love the... and Saltmine times the exit. Which is, it's very fun to see door hijinks.
Yeah. Dragon now trying to slow it down for himself. I think he's feeling that maybe he wants to make Saltmine come to him. He feels he's gonna have a better chance that way. We'll see how that works
I
out.
get the feeling Dragon knows that Saltmine likes playing over here in this part of the map. He feels very strong.
Yeah.
So we might see the match slow down a little bit. We're going to switch back over to Dragon. He's currently playing down by 3. Gets Saltmine out, but he hears the spawn. He knows where it is, but he doesn't. Not in a position for him to push.
Yeah, we're seeing Dragon take advantage of this top area quite successfully so far.
Players trying to like kind of bait each other out. Yeah, I see Dragon lures Saltmine into this spot. So both players are trying to actually kind of play each other mentally at this point. It's less of a game of mechanics right now at this phase of round 5, and more of a game of trying to control each other's movement.
Yeah, which is very cool to see at this point in the game. You gotta think, you know, round 5 and grand finals, the whole month has come down to this moment, and they're still playing with their heads. It's very cool to see.
Great work from Dragon to kind of bait Saltmine back to the Super Shotgun drop down where he's vulnerable. Now, the gap is, well, the gap's coming back, I suppose, but only one frag between these two players, yeah.
Still anyone's game, just past the 20 frag points, so still fairly early, but just about the halfway point now.
And I don't believe stamina is an issue for these two players. It looks like both are playing still very strong, making cool, collective decisions.
No, we're gonna see the adrenaline kick in here. I doubt either player is gonna become unfocused at this point in the game.
Oh, an attempt. I see what Dragon was trying to do. It's just the chain gun did not connect. And now, unfortunately... Oh, okay, so a little bit of control back from Dragon.
Turning it around.
Oh, he tried to get the rocket launcher ready in time for the door to open. He knew Saltmine was coming, but Saltmine too fast.
Right, there was a jump there where you can make it and pick up the SSG. Dragon just not able to grab it in time, and Saltmine taking advantage of that.
Both players very weak. Dragon looking for some spawn kills. He needs some spawn kills here to close the gap a little bit. Although 5 frags really isn't that much on a map like Lazarus.
Yeah, one good killing spree, or just a couple of really bad spawns.
Like a horror movie, Dragon pops out from that corner with the crate and Saltmine staring right at him.
Saltmine now using the BFG. This could be huge. Dragon doing a good job in staying in this sort of top area. You're very tucked out of the way from BFG. Good hiding spot for sure. See how he's able to move out of this.
Saltmine actually eats some super shotgun to the face, but Saltmine drops back down. And, ooh, but he knows he did a lot of damage to Dragon right there.
Yeah.
So the game is to avoid Dragon. I see Dragon is... Ooh, okay,
Couple spawn kills, he's got a good advantage still. Saltmine's very weak. Yep, there we go.
This is, both players playing extremely hard, extremely aggressive, but also slowing the game down when it fits them. Saltmine looking for that BFG cone. It's nowhere to be found.
Oh my god. Huge dodges of the BFG from Dragon there. That was very impressive.
That last shot must have been just outside the BFG cone.
Yeah.
Some chain gun work from Saltmine. Chain gun kills are few and far between in this game where shotguns tend to reign supreme. Only 3 frags between the two players as Dragon... Saltmine was turned completely around, but Dragon whiffed the one-shot kill.
Yeah, the 180 from Saltmine. Okay, so 5 frag difference. We've seen Dragon perhaps play... He's been down for quite a while now. Less than 10
bad
frag.
spawns for Dragon.
Yeah.
7 frags, 8 frags now between the players. Saltmine feeling good, but this could go either way. Dragon kind of has to pick a direction to take out Saltmine.
I think Dragon really needs just a couple of spawn kills here, and then he needs to slow it down again. He needs to go back to how he was playing when he turned the tides for the first time.
Dragon now hits that 40 frag threshold.
Yep. Yep, here it is.
Dragon is feeling
really
strong, very aggressive. Forcing errors from Saltmine. Now only 2 frags between the two.
Saltmine going for that BFG once again. Doesn't work out.
Hammered.
Oh my. Okay,
It's
all
tied up. Dragon. We're going to switch over to Dragon for this final segment. Absolutely incredible work for Dragon to come back here. Great patience from
86,
Dragon.
46. Bad spawn from Saltmine, but
Saltmine
he
gets
might
out.
be able to work out of it. Yeah, he's out.
Oh. Dragon let him get away. Dragon trying to bait out a shot so that he can push in and take out Saltmine. He's backwards to that corridor,
Oh
but
my
Saltmine
God.
didn't push up there.
I think we're seeing the nerves kick in a little bit here. Dragon understands the position he's in. He understands how important every single movement is right now.
Great shot from Dragon. Another refrag. Dragon is in the lead by 1 frag. Saltmine is wounded. 2 frags between
Plus
the 2
2.
players.
Last frag left. All he needs is 1 more. Saltmine bringing it back a little bit. Oh my God. 49-49.
It's actually
This is
tied.
crazy. This is crazy. No
Dragon
chance.
wins.
Dragon
He
takes
comes.
it.
Dragon comes down from the lower bracket, makes a run all the way back, wins the rematch in the grand finals for the intermediate division. Dragon is your winner. Absolutely phenomenal game from Dragon. Well played from Saltmine. I mean, it's the thinnest of margins possible. Oh my God. Whew.
I'm almost speechless. That is insane.
Phenomenal to me. Congratulations to Dragon. That's like, what do you say at this point? That's
Huge,
Whew.
huge performance. That was the thinnest of margins possible.
you saw a
Dragon.
world-class comeback in the tiebreaker match of the finals. If you've played in a tournament before, if you've been in a competition, you know the nerves, you know the adrenaline when you are looking down the barrel of a 1-point difference.
Yeah, that was huge. Dragon coming in 1 round down as well. So he was really the underdog in every respect there.
Absolutely phenomenal game, my God. Well, we're going to get out of the game view here, and then, I mean, that's... Wow. What a match.
What more can you ask for?
What
from
more
a-
can you
from a
ask
new
for?
match?
For if you have joined us today, or even if you're watching the VOD, you witnessed the kind of thrill that we all love to play, that we all love to see, that we love to share with the whole the Doomsphere, if you will. But this is what multiplayer is all about. It's about hard-fought games, and it's about storylines. Saltmine coasted to the finals in the upper bracket off sheer skill on Pobla 8 with his single barrel shotgun skills, and then Dragon refused to bend the knee, made his way all through the lower bracket, and then won in a last possible second turnaround with a 1-round disadvantage to be your champion in the intermediate division. Congratulations.
Yeah, huge congratulations to Dragon there. He really put the effort in. He really, ignored the disadvantages he had going into that and just made the best of his situation. That was incredible.
So, I mean, any parting words, anything that you saw during the match that would be good to say now, or do you want to hold it for recap at a later point?
Well, we can go into it again at recap. I think right now we got to be thinking from both players' perspectives. So obviously, Dragon is probably ecstatic right now. Like I just said, odds were against him. He put together a great performance, really just taking everyone by surprise, I think. But you also got to think from Saltmine's perspective. What happened? Why was he not able to do what he was able to do the first time around? Has Dragon improved a lot? Was perhaps the lag we were seeing from Saltmine's perspective a factor? There's a lot going into this.
Affect him a bit mentally. Yeah, I could see that. That could be.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And Dragon is also playing from overseas as well, so both players dealing with latency in a couple different ways. So it's unfortunate that the conditions were not perfect, but players made the best of them. And we even saw at the very end, what I liked seeing was Saltmine lean into his single barrel experience and try to just take Dragon out for that last frag.
Yeah,
he
he
made
put
a
all
final
his money in
stand.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in it to the end. That was incredible.
Ooh, all right. Well, that's the intermediate finals, everybody. So that was a hell of a match. Again, congratulations to Dragon and Saltmine. Even, I mean, what a run you've had. Great work, and hell, you put on a great show for the broadcast, for sure.
Yeah, you can't ask for anything more. That was insane.
That's a championship grade game, and we're glad that we caught it here live. Thank you to everybody for coming out. We are going to have a recap probably later in the week. I think there are some pro division games that still need to happen. For us to make that usually tends to push us to Tuesday or Wednesday anyways. But on the topic of the intermediate bracket, great work from the commissioners to organize this tournament in a way that the skill has been very close between every player, or at least in the same ballpark. So we saw that with both the rookie division and the intermediate division, and we've seen a lot of really close matches in the pro league as well.
Yeah, we've seen close matches in all the divisions finals, and the way things are shaping up, I feel like we're going to see that again in the pro finals. So knock on wood, but I feel like the pro bracket finals are going to be a spectacle as well.
If you caught the rookie finals and saw how players were playing, if you caught these finals and saw how these players were playing, imagine how the skill that you are going to see on display in the pro division finals. We are definitely going to be broadcasting that. But for now, that'll be it for our Sunday afternoon, evening, or Monday morning broadcast if you're that far ahead in the world. Thank you to everybody for coming out, and thank you, Nexus, for joining me.
Thank you so much for having us again.
Absolutely, and I will catch all the rest of you later. Have a good rest of your day, and if you like Classic Doom competition, join that Rampage Discord. Thank you to everybody, and I'll catch you for the next multiplayer broadcast, whenever it happens.